There are moments so quiet that you feel as if the whole world does not notice you. Yet in the unseen realm, a silent thunder has already sounded. People often believe that heaven only moves when there are great victories, breathtaking miracles, or prayers echoing through a holy temple. But that is not the truth. The angels have risen. The heavens have thundered because of a single step you have taken. A step that looks small, that looks ordinary, yet it touched eternity. Picture this. Countless wings unfolding at once, light blazing from them like fire in the sky, not one angel remaining still. That uproar was not caused by a golden trophy, a sports victory, or an achievement admired on social media. It was caused by you, by the moment you chose another direction, a path no one else noticed, no one else praised. And heaven erupted because of it. On earth, everything may seem so quiet. It may look like nothing more than a private decision in your heart, a single step leaving behind the shadows, a whisper of refusal, or a determined gaze forward while others turn away. To the world, you may appear silent, ordinary, even fragile, but on a deeper level, truth was revealed. You have redrawn the map of destiny. You did not simply move forward. You shifted the entire story that powers believed was already written. You are like a master of chess. While others saw only a small move, you saw 10 moves ahead, already knowing victory was in your hands. The opponent might celebrate overtaking one small piece, but they have no idea the game was already over long before they realized it. And in that very moment, the angels rose. They stood in awe, as if they had never seen anything so beautiful. Some looked at one another and smiled in the light, as if to say, "Look, that soul has done it." Others shouted like a roaring stadium, not to honor an earthly champion, but to celebrate a soul who chose what was right, even when no one noticed, even when no one clapped. This is not the victory of noise. This is the victory of silence, of courage, of a heart following the light without needing witnesses. I remember the words in Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. You do not need to chase the eyes of the crowd. You do not need the approval of people. If you find your joy in Him, the deepest longings of your soul, things beyond words will be fulfilled. And you have just touched that place, not with shouts, not with performance, but with a quiet act that heaven could not ignore. Think about this. Not every step in life is recorded in heaven. Some actions, even loud and celebrated, are only small ripples in the ocean. But then there are rare moments when one decision, one small step, shakes the entire universe. And you are the one who just caused that tremor. To human eyes, you may look like nothing. But to the eyes of angels, you have done something so great that they could not stay still. The truth is, angels are often pictured as calm, steady, with wings stretched wide, eyes full of peace. They are rarely shaken, rarely moved. Yet this time, with only one step from you, the heavens could not remain seated. They rose, because the power of that choice pierced through every layer of the sky. Imagine this. If a game on earth can make thousands of fans shout in joy, then your step made millions of angels clap their wings in unison. That applause was not made of sound, but of light, like wind rushing through countless wings, like an endless chorus filling the unseen. What you did may not be understood right away. Some may laugh, some may say it was obvious, some may not care at all. But you know in your heart, it was not an impulsive act. It did not come from anger or fleeting emotions. It was a step born in silence, in prayer, in patience, and waiting. You saw a small opening, one that only awakened eyes could see, and you walked into it. No announcements, no applause needed. You simply stepped forward. And that is why the angels shouted. Do you feel it in your heart? A quiet stirring? As if your soul itself recognizes the weight of what just happened? Sometimes we cannot see the full value of our actions, but the spiritual realm knows. They see the chains that have fallen, the doors that have opened, the path that is suddenly lit up before you. If your eyes could see, you would witness broken chains, cracked walls, and a new land unfolding beneath your feet. This was not just a step forward. This was the beginning of something new. Some may ask, why would something so small make heaven rise to its feet? Because that act was not just for today. It was the sound of a bell marking a new chapter of destiny. It was the sign that you are stepping into the stream of the chosen. It was the declaration that you are no longer walking alone. and that is why heaven roared like an endless stadium to honor you. But this is only the beginning. That applause is not the end of the story. It is only the welcome into the true journey. A journey where each step carries invisible power, where each choice can unlock or close a destiny. And soon you will realize the angels did not rise only for a smart move. They rose because within you, a deeper freedom has begun. A freedom reaching back through generations, breaking what once held your family line, and releasing what was meant for you all along. There are invisible chains that stretch from one generation to the next. They weave into the blood, hide in habits, in words that sound harmless. In the unspoken rules no one dares to question, people grow up with them as if they are normal, as if there is no other way but to continue. Cycles repeat again and again. Failure after failure, loss after loss. Wrong choices passed down like a birthmark that cannot be erased. These are the shackles of a family line, the inherited disease of the soul. And then, one person dares to say, enough. One person dares to stop, to turn, to break the chain. That person is you. Do not think this is simple. Imagine how many years, how many generations allowed the cycle to continue. How many lives sighed in resignation, accepting as if there was no escape. Silent self-destruction, unspoken abuse, hidden fears. These are no longer accidents. They have become structure, law, and shadow pressing down on the bloodline. People live inside it, not even aware they are bound. And then you chose to cut it off. You did not step forward only for yourself. You did it for an entire stream drowning in darkness. The truth is, these battles are often fought in silence. No applause, no cheerleaders. In fact, many times it is your own family who resist. They look at you with suspicion, saying you are wasting your time, even betraying tradition. They tell you, just let things be. Do not stir the waters. But you know that silence only tightens the grip on the next generation. You know there is a door that must be closed firmly, or else the darkness will find its way back. And you closed it. You shut it with a thunder so loud that the angels erupted in praise. In the moment you said no, the chains fell. In the moment you refused the cycle, a whole bloodline was set free. Not only you felt the release, but also the children yet unborn, the souls who have not even entered this world. All of them are touched by the freedom you opened. If you could see it, you would watch the chains shatter into dust, never to be restored. And that is why the angels did not clap only for you. They clapped for an entire family healed. This reminds me of Psalm 25-14. The Lord confides in those who fear him. He makes his covenant known to them. When you walk in reverence and obedience, you do not receive redemption for yourself alone. You touch a larger covenant, one that can reach a family line, even generations that never knew your name. Your name may be forgotten, but the path you opened will remain. And that is how heaven measures true value. Think about this. You may be misunderstood. You may feel alone. You may even be called rebellious, foolish, or unnecessary. But heaven sees you as a pioneer because not everyone dares to fight the root of darkness. Not everyone has the courage to pay the price of isolation, rejection, and misunderstanding. Most people compromise with darkness, settle for a life that is shallow, as long as it feels safe. But you are different. You are not looking for false comfort. You are seeking true freedom. And you want to hand that freedom to your bloodline. And the angels witnessed it. They saw you stand firm under pressure. They saw you hold your ground even through tears. They saw you reject the easy path, the path with fewer thorns. They understood that you did not just cut your own chains. You tore down an entire system of bondage that had wrapped around your family for generations. This is no longer a personal act. This is a victory of heritage, a victory of legacy. And in that moment, heaven roared. If you listen closely, you can still hear the echo. It is like a call from afar, like background music for your next step. It reminds you that you are not alone. It reminds you that this victory has been written into eternity, and it awakens in you a new strength, the strength to walk further, deeper, into the places where light needs to shine, because the journey is not over. A new chapter is opening, the chapter of silent strength, of steps not announced, but powerful enough to shake the unseen. The angels shouted when you broke the chains of your family line, but they will rise again, because you are stepping into a new season, a season where every quiet act will strike the enemy like a fatal blow, a season where you do not need to announce or display. Yet every move you make will send ripples that make heaven bow in awe. In the silence of the soul, sometimes it is the unseen steps that carry the greatest power. You already know, there are battles that require no sword, no audience, no applause. These are battles fought in stillness, in a sacred space where only you and the Almighty know what is happening. And when you choose that path, the angels rise again, because you have discovered the strength of keeping things hidden. In a world where everyone rushes to announce their every move, where everyone wants to display their plans, your silence becomes a holy strategy. You do not drop hints, you do not let others guess your next step, you do not invite the enemy to the chessboard. You simply prepare in quiet, arrange in quiet, and by the time you move, everything is already in place. The enemy is caught off guard. Outsiders cannot even understand what just happened. And that is why heaven rejoices. Think of a seed. If you pull it up when it has just sprouted, it will never grow into a tree. Your plans, your dreams, your important decisions are the same. They need to be buried in the dark, given time and silence to grow strong in safety. If you expose them too soon, the wind will scatter them. The enemy will try to crush them. And sometimes, even the doubt of those closest to you can dry them out. You understood this. You allowed your seed to take root, to stretch upward in the dark, and to emerge only when it was strong enough that nothing could break it. Silence is not weakness. It is the strength of someone who knows how to wait for the right time. It is the wisdom of a warrior who does not need to shout. You do not need to prove you are doing something great. You let the results speak for you. You know that by keeping silent, you have disarmed so many traps, so many interferences, so many whispers that could have slowed you down. And when you did that, the angels smiled. They stood up. They saw you move like a dancer to a holy rhythm, unseen and unheard, yet precise, complete, and flawless. There is something mysterious. When you choose silence, you begin to hear more. You hear the whispers of your soul, the wind of eternity, the footsteps of angels walking beside you. You recognize the true direction, and you avoid the tempting paths that are full of snares. This silence has kept your heart pure, protected from being pulled away by the noise of the world. And in that stillness, you have learned the lesson of freedom. Freedom from comparison. Freedom from the temptation of instant applause. Freedom from the pressure to prove your worth to others. You know now you do not need to show off. You do not need to shout, to shake the heavens. True strength does not come from being seen. It comes from doing what is right in the quiet. In this very moment, the words of Psalm 46:10 breathe over you. Be still and know that I am God. It is in stillness that you discover Him, that you see His hand guiding every step. And once you grasp this truth, nothing can shake you again. If your heart feels awakened by these words, let the message flow onward. Do not keep it only for yourself. Share it so that this light can touch more souls. Click like so the algorithm cannot hide it. Subscribe so you can continue to walk with us in these holy steps. And if you know someone who needs a gentle reminder, a spark of encouragement, send them this journey. You may never realize, but one small action, one click, could become the echo that changes the course of another person's life. The angels rose because you walked in silence. But there is one more reason they could not stay seated. You remained pure when temptation surrounded you. And that is the victory that makes heaven bow in awe. There are opportunities that appear before you, shining like pure gold, glittering like a precious jewel, promising instant freedom. To anyone watching, it looks like the chance of a lifetime. They would say, "Take it, this will change everything." But you saw what others could not see. You recognized that beneath the sweet glow was a carefully hidden trap. A trap not aimed at your money, fame, or success, but at the most precious part of you, your soul, your integrity, the very core of who you are. And you chose not to step into it. That was not easy. The trap always comes dressed in charm. It whispers, just bow a little, just compromise a little, and everything will get so much easier. It promises quick victories, the silence of critics, the praise you have long desired. It approaches with rewards that the world values, trying to purchase your heart with fleeting glitter, but you knew the price was not small. Once you trade your integrity, the line begins to blur. Once, then twice, then many times, until the day you can no longer tell where light ends and darkness begins. You refused that path. You chose to give up the easy way in order to keep your wholeness. You allowed others to laugh at you, to think you missed your chance. You were willing to watch others move ahead, as long as you did not lose the treasure within your heart. You would rather slow down. You would rather face loss than sell your soul for a moment of false reward. And in the very moment you said no, the angels saw it. They saw temptation fall away like an arrow that missed its target. They saw darkness believe it had won, only to be exposed by your holiness. And they stood up and clapped because you could not be bought. This is a rare victory in a world of compromise. It is far easier to bow, far easier to take the quick reward. But you know that those victories are illusions. They vanish in your hands, leaving emptiness that hurts more than failure. Because what you lose is peace, the kind of peace that cannot be bought back, and you refuse to trade it away. You kept your integrity, even if it meant walking alone. In this moment, I remember the whisper of Psalm 23:3. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. It was he who led you, keeping you from the short road filled with shadows. And when you chose integrity, your soul was restored, stronger, brighter, untouched by the cheap offers of the world. You may not see the result right away. People may think you lost, that you wasted your chance. But the truth is, you won an eternal victory. You kept your soul whole. You proved that your value cannot be bought, cannot be measured by money, praise, or recognition. You are priceless because you belong to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. And in the stillness of that decision, a sacred seal appeared. The number 111, the mark of new beginnings, flashed upon your path. It is not random. It is a sign from the heavens, a reminder that you have stepped into a new chapter where the gates of the Spirit open for those who dare to keep their integrity. 111 is the number of birth, of laying the foundation for something never seen before. It is heaven's confirmation. You have chosen well. You have begun a new cycle. If this number echoes in your heart, if you keep seeing it in your life, it is not coincidence. It is a calling. Let it encourage you. And if you feel led, share the number in the comments to show that you are in alignment with it. Because sometimes, when you share your sacred signal, you awaken it in someone else. People often say, true victory is not found in what you grasp, but in what you refuse. And you have proven it. The angels saw you turn away from temptation, keep your purity, and they clapped for your courageous choice. But the journey does not end here. Integrity is only the first step, because darkness does not only tempt, it also hides in ancient wounds, in long-standing sicknesses of the soul that most people only try to soothe on the surface. But you, with eyes now opened, will not stop at the surface. You will go to the roots. You will tear out what has bound not only you, but generations past and generations yet to come. There are wounds that may seem small, yet they reach deep, passed down from one generation to the next, like an inherited disease of the soul. Most people only treat the surface. They try to soothe the pain for a moment, patch the torn places just enough to keep moving. But you refused that way. You were not deceived by temporary solutions. You did not want a peace that lasts only for today, only to return tomorrow as an even stronger storm. You chose the hardest path. You chose to go straight to the root, to tear it out, even if your hands bled and your body grew weary. That is the difference between true healing and shallow covering. People fight the visible symptoms, an argument, a bad habit, a sudden hurt. But they forget that behind every symptom is a root buried deep in the soil, a root of fear, of self-destruction, of a cycle that has enslaved a family line. And when the symptom is calmed, the root remains, waiting to grow new branches of poison. You did not choose what was easy. You looked straight at the root. You patiently dug down. Every strike of the shovel into the soil of the soul felt like pain. You faced old memories, wounds, long buried. You broke through hard ground pressed down by years, by bitter words, by deep-seated beliefs. You knew no one would clap for this work. Many would laugh and call it useless. But heaven understood its value. The angels saw you bent down, hands dirty, sweat mixing with blood, yet your eyes unshaken. They knew you were not healing for yourself alone, but for generations yet unborn. To pull out a root is to accept more pain. the pain of dragging it from its hidden place, the pain of losing what was once familiar, even if that familiarity was darkness. But in that pain, light begins to enter. When the poisonous root is pulled out, the soil of your soul is freed. It becomes fertile, ready for new seeds, ready for new life. And when that happens, the unseen realm erupts in praise. The angels saw each chain you removed. They saw the cycle you ended. They saw the children of the future who will grow without carrying the burden you carried. This is not imagination. This is a truth written into eternity. And that is why they stood and clapped, not only for you, but for an entire generation that will live free because of you. There is a hard truth. Root-level healing often makes you look like the loser. Outsiders see you stay silent, withdraw from surface battles, refuse to argue or fight back. They think you are weak, but you know that if you keep swinging at the branches, you will never reach the root. You chose to invest your strength in something deeper. You chose lasting victory over instant satisfaction, and that choice made darkness tremble. In this journey, another number shines as a seal, 444, the number of strong foundations and divine protection. When you tear out the roots of darkness, you are laying a new foundation. No longer broken, no longer unstable walls. You are rebuilding from the ground up, on solid rock, on righteousness that cannot be shaken. And when the number 444 appears, it is a sign from heaven. You are protected. Your new foundation will never be moved. If you have seen this number in your life, on a license plate, on a clock, in moments that seemed random, know that it was not random. It was confirmation. It was heaven's sign that you are being watched over, that your steps are laying the foundation for a radiant future. And if this number touches your heart even now, do not keep it to yourself. Share it. Let it become a testimony for others that a new foundation is being built, not just for you, but for all connected to your life. Your persistence in pulling up the root is what moved the angels, because not many are willing to go that far. Most stop at the surface because it is quicker, easier, and looks effective right away. But you knew that effectiveness was an illusion. And you chose the hard road, the road that left your hands bleeding, but your heart free. That is the courage heaven cannot ignore. When the root has been removed, you will feel lighter. You will see the field of your soul cleared, ready for a new season. But true freedom does not come only from uprooting. It comes from how you walk away. Many, after leaving darkness, still carry the poison of bitterness, resentment, or the desire for revenge. And those become new chains, holding them to the past. You are different. You will learn to walk away clean, leaving no stain in your soul. And that is the complete victory. Leaving is already hard, but leaving with a pure heart, without carrying poison, is one of the greatest challenges a soul can face. When you walk away from a dark place, from a hurtful relationship, from a toxic environment, or a binding cycle, the natural instinct is to carry the wounds with you, to hold on to bitterness as proof that you were harmed. People leave, but their hearts still carry venom. They retell the story hundreds of times. They hold on to painful memories as a shield of defense. They believe they are free, yet they remain imprisoned by the shadows of the past. But you are different. You have chosen the harder path to leave without carrying any stain. You refuse to let bitterness become your baggage. You give hatred no room in your heart. You understand that true freedom does not come from leaving a place, but from releasing the poison that place left inside you. Without that, no matter how far you go, the darkness will follow, seeping into every decision and every dream. And you refuse to let that happen. This was not an easy choice. You had the right to be angry. You had the right to blame. You had the right to want to return the pain others caused you. But you gave up that right. You chose peace over revenge. You chose healing instead of keeping open wounds. You chose silence instead of displaying bitterness. And that choice shook the heavens. Maybe you once stood alone in the night, overwhelmed by memories, whispering to yourself, "Why must I forgive? Why must I let go?" And in that moment, a voice spoke softly, yet with authority, "Because you deserve to be free." Then you understood. Forgiveness is not about freeing those who hurt you. It is about freeing your own soul. The psalmist wrote, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted." When you walked with a heart that felt shattered, He was near. lifting you so you no longer carried that invisible weight. In your brokenness, you found His presence. In your ruins, you found strength to walk away with empty hands, but a pure heart. The angels witnessed you refusing to seek revenge, refusing to plant more seeds of poison. They saw you rise, stepping away with light steps, carrying nothing but peace. And in that moment, light surrounded you. Because you were not only escaping the past, you were breaking its power over your life. If you could see in the Spirit, you would notice the invisible chains that once bound you to the darkness slowly dissolving. You would see arrows of resentment, once aimed at your heart, now falling uselessly to the ground because you no longer feed them with your energy. You would see spirits waiting for your downfall stunned because you refuse to let the past define your future. To leave with purity is a courage few ever reach. It demands you reject the sweetness of revenge, the fleeting pleasure of proving yourself right. It demands you learn to close the door without an apology, to walk forward without needing an audience to declare you were right. It demands you believe that peace in your heart is worth more than any defense on your lips. You may not yet realize it, but this choice has changed you forever. It has made you untouchable. Because when you carry no poison, no one can use your past to harm you. When you hold no bitterness, you cannot be easily led by anger. You have entered a safe place where darkness cannot reach. It is a silent victory, yet it resounds. A victory that made the angels take flight, rejoicing as if heaven itself opened to a new chapter. In that lightness, you discovered something deeper. Leaving is not only freedom for you, it is a reminder for everyone who witnesses your journey. People will learn from you that it is possible to let go without carrying venom, to walk away without paying the price of hatred. And as they learn, their own cycles of poison will begin to break. You become a fresh wind among them, carrying the message that true freedom is always tied to purity. Heaven smiles as you step into new ground. But they also know purity comes with a cost, the cost of being misunderstood. Because leaving without blame confuses people. They will say you are weak, that you are afraid, that you cannot face reality. They will twist your story, paint you as one who runs away, as one who failed. But heaven knows the truth, and your willingness to be misunderstood for the sake of truth is the next victory that makes the heavens rise in celebration. When a soul chooses to walk in the light, darkness does not only try to stop it with chains or temptations, it also uses a weapon that is quiet yet deeply dangerous: misunderstanding. And that is exactly what you have faced. You knew that some of your choices would never be approved by the majority. You understood that some of your words, no matter how you explain them, would still be twisted and distorted. You foresaw that even if you acted in purity, there would still be people who looked at you as a traitor, a failure, someone who abandoned the way. You even knew that truth itself could be buried under lies, whispered and passed down from one generation to the next. Yet you still moved forward, not stepping back, not compromising, because you chose to live for truth, not for image. Perhaps in the quiet of long nights, you once wished that one day people would finally understand, that truth would be revealed, so you would no longer carry false accusations. But then you realized truth does not need an audience to exist. It does not need applause to be right. Truth is eternal, unshaken, even if the whole world denies it. And you decided to stand with it, even at the cost of letting your reputation crumble in the eyes of others. In that choice, you stepped into rare ground, the realm of those who accept being misunderstood for the sake of truth. This is courage not many possess. Most people want not only to be right, but also to be seen as right. They cannot bear the thought of carrying a false stain on their name. They long to keep their honor safe in the eyes of others. But you are different. You understand that sometimes you cannot serve both truth and image. One must yield, and you let image bow to truth. The angels saw you do this. They saw you stand still when rumors spread. They saw you keep your peace when your honor was trampled. They saw you remain silent, not defending yourself, not fighting for reputation, because you knew reputation is fleeting, but truth is eternal. And they rose, not because you were praised, but because you were brave enough to walk into loneliness in loyalty to the sacred. In that silence, you were never truly alone. There was one who always saw, who always stood beside you. Psalm 121:7 whispers, "The Lord will keep you from all harm." And harm is not only swords or battles seen with the eye. Sometimes the greatest harm is slander, dishonor, the deep loneliness of being misunderstood. Yet he kept you from falling, reminding you that even if the world turned away, heaven still welcomed you. Living with misunderstanding is like carrying an invisible scar. Others look at you and believe they know the story, but they only know a twisted version. And you accept that scar. You do not try to erase it. You do not try to defend yourself. Because you know that in eternity's record, truth is already written. One day, maybe not here but beyond this life, everything will be revealed. And in that moment, the applause you never received on earth will resound in heaven. This is your strength. You are not afraid of being misunderstood. That fear is the trap that makes many compromise, that causes them to abandon truth just to protect their image. But you overcame that trap. You proved that a soul set free does not need to look right in the eyes of the world to live in peace. Your peace comes from a deeper source, from your faithfulness to the one who called you, from the certainty that heaven has seen it all. Through misunderstanding, you learned a priceless lesson. Silence itself can be a testimony. When you do not rush to defend yourself, when you do not strive to prove your case, your silence becomes strength. It is like a mountain standing firm in the storm, never speaking, yet its steadfastness is the loudest declaration. The angels saw that steadfastness, and they knew you had won a battle greater than any argument. And you also realized that misunderstanding has trained you for a higher freedom. Freedom from the need to be recognized. Freedom from dependence on reputation. Freedom from the burden of proving your worth to human eyes. Once you are no longer tied to these things, you become untouchable. No one can take away your peace. In this very moment, a number echoes in your soul. 777, the number of awakening, of mystery, of an unfolding spirit. It does not appear only as a symbol, but as confirmation that you have crossed a threshold. 777 is a number for those who have learned the deep lesson of truth and freedom. It signals that you have entered a season of awakening, where your soul sees farther, wider, and connects with higher realms of the universe. If this number is echoing in your heart, if it appears around you again and again like a call, let it awaken you. And if you are ready, share it as confirmation that your soul is resonating with awakening. Sometimes, even a simple sharing of yours can become a sign from heaven for someone who is searching. The angels rise not because you were understood, but because you dared to be misunderstood in order to guard the truth. And when they rejoice, new strength is placed in your hands. The strength to walk without applause, without human recognition, because it is time for you to learn an even greater lesson. True victory does not need a crowd. True victory is choosing what is right, even when no one sees, no one applauds. And that is the next step of your soul. There is a rare kind of victory, quiet and pure, that the world seldom celebrates. It happens when you choose to do what is right, not to be seen, not to be praised, but simply because truth demands it. A step taken without drums, without stage lights, without a red carpet rolled out. Just you and the Most High knowing, and that alone is enough to make heaven erupt with joy. It is hard, isn't it? Humanity is born with a deep need for recognition. From childhood, a glance of approval, a word of encouragement could carry us further. As adults, applause, nods of agreement, and words of praise feel like fuel to our will. Yet in sacred moments, you learned a harsh but freeing lesson. You do not need that recognition to keep moving forward. You acted in the absence of applause. You walked on, knowing no one would understand, no one would stand beside you, no one would call your name with pride, and you still did it. That is maturity that few ever reach. Because when the audience is gone, when the lights are dim, the only motive left is this: doing what is right, simply because it is right. In the unseen realm, this carries great weight. Angels do not measure victory by how many people cheer for you. They do not count the worth of your actions by how many eyes are watching. They look at the heart. They weigh the motive. And when they see you choose what is right for no reason but truth itself, they rise, they shout, they cover you in blessings that cannot be shaken. The world may think you are foolish. They may ask, why do it if no one will notice? Why sacrifice everything only to be met with silence? But you know that silence on earth does not mean silence in heaven. In fact, in that silence, heaven's applause is louder than ever. And once you have heard it, every earthly recognition feels too small. This brings you into a freedom few ever reach. Freedom from the need for applause. You are no longer driven by the hunger for approval. You are no longer swayed by the crowd's indifference. You are no longer shaped by fragile trends just to be seen. You know earthly applause is loud but fading. Heavenly applause never fades. It is written into eternity's record, and no one can erase it. In the unseen hours when you walked with no witness, your soul was tested. You asked yourself, who am I doing this for? For them or for the one who called me? And when the answer rose clear in your heart, you knew every sacrifice was worth it. Psalm 121:7 echoes again as a seal. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He guarded you in moments that seemed meaningless, in acts no one knew, no one noticed. In the absence of human eyes, you were covered by His gaze. When you no longer craved applause, you received a protection the world could never give. And then, when you released the need for recognition, you became untouchable to criticism. Nothing could drag you down anymore, because you no longer lived on human praise. You stand now on a stronger foundation, heaven's recognition. In this very moment, the number 444 resounds, like a steady drumbeat affirming your path. It reminds you that your foundation is now firm. You are no longer swept away by opinion. You are no longer shaken by the absence of an audience. You have built your life on rock, where storms cannot destroy. And from this foundation, you can build a life of eternal value. If you have seen this number repeating around you, on clocks, in dreams, in random places, it is not by chance. It is a sign, a confirmation from above. You are protected. Your foundation is secure. You need no applause, no spotlight, because you are already walking in the right direction. If this number resonates with you, share it, for your sharing may become the encouragement someone else has been waiting for. The angels rose when you chose to do right without applause. They knew that this step not only set you free, but also sent ripples reaching unseen souls. Because sometimes, your small, silent act becomes the very answer to a prayer, whispered by someone far away. And that is what heaven wants to show you next. There are prayers that rise in the dark, heard by no one except the Most High. They are the choked whispers of a mother praying for her child to escape a cycle of suffering. They are the silent tears of a father hoping the next generation will not carry the burden he once bore. They are the cries of lost souls, hearts that seem abandoned. You may never have heard those prayers, but your walking is the answer. When you choose to break the chains, when you choose silence to protect the sacred, when you choose to leave with purity, you do more than free yourself. You open a door. That door does not only lead you out, it creates a path for many others to follow. You do not know their names. You do not see their faces, yet they gain freedom from your decision, and the angels have witnessed it all. It is like a stone thrown into a lake. Your step is the stone falling. Ripples spread and touch distant shores you have never walked. A community is changed. A family is healed. A soul is lifted from the abyss. You do not need to know every result, but heaven sees the whole ripple. That is why they rise to clap. Have you ever wondered why a small act of yours can move the spirit realm so profoundly? Because that act holds power beyond your sight. You may think you only solved a personal problem. In truth, you became the answer to prayers you never heard. You became the key that opened prisons for people who never met you. In the unseen, that connection is as clear as interwoven golden threads. When you choose the right way, that golden thread vibrates, sending waves through the network of souls. Places once bound and withered begin to stir. Long-held knots start to loosen. Prayers thought forgotten are answered through your actions. This brings to mind Psalm 121, verse 7. The Lord will keep you from all harm. That keeping is not only for you, it is for those tied to your journey. God uses you as a channel, an opening to protect and release other souls. For this reason, your step holds value beyond time, beyond space, beyond your understanding. You may feel small, powerless to influence. But remember, in the spirit realm, no action is small if it comes from faithfulness to truth. A word you withhold, a decision you keep pure, a step you take toward light instead of darkness, all create ripples you cannot measure. Those ripples answer cries of souls in despair. This is a great honor and also a heavy responsibility. When you become the answer to unspoken prayers, your life is no longer only your own. You become part of a vast plan, a link in a picture beyond human comprehension. The angels smile when they see you accept that role without needing to know every detail, without expecting immediate reward. To walk this way, you need a special kind of faith. Faith that what you do matters even if no one knows. Faith that silent sacrifices, lonely nights, tears falling in stillness are not wasted. Faith that an invisible hand weaves them into a larger tapestry, where each thread has its place. Every crack is turned into a pattern. That faith is what makes the angels sing. Imagine this. You walk thinking you carry the burden alone. But in the spirit, a family is freed, a soul is healed, a community revived, all because of your fidelity. It surpasses imagination, yet it is the truth heaven witnesses every day. You may ask, why me? Why must I bear this responsibility? The answer rings in your heart. Because you were ready. Because you chose what is right when no one watched. Because you do not need earthly applause to walk. That is why you were chosen to be the answer to prayers you never heard. In that moment, the number 777 appears again as a seal. It reminds you that your soul is awakened, that you live in connection with the universe. You are not just a small individual in this world. You are part of a sacred network where every action echoes endlessly. The angels clap because you accepted this truth. You stepped into this role, even though it makes you lonely in the eyes of the world. When you become the answer to unspoken prayers, you are no longer alone. You become a bridge. You become a key. You become living proof that light always finds a way through darkness. But to be a bridge, you must also endure blows others cannot bear. That is why the angels never stop cheering, because they know you stood firm where many would fall. There are blows that are never made public, never told in the stories of men. They are invisible impacts, pressures so heavy that a single moment of surrender could break the soul. Those blows rarely strike the body. They aim at the core, the spirit, the faith, the identity, and you know them well because you have borne them for many others. You may have asked yourself, why must I carry such weight? Why is this burden placed on my shoulders? The answer is not found in worldly fairness, but in the preparation of heaven. The angels know that if those blows fell on others, they would shatter, they would lose their souls. But you are different. You have been forged. You have been tested by fire. You have passed seasons of hardship, so your shoulders are strong enough, your heart steady enough, your soul steadfast enough. So when the blow came, you stood. You did not run, you did not break. You took the storm head on, and somehow you remained standing. This does not mean you do not hurt. On the contrary, the pain you endure is often deeper and sharper, because you choose not to let it fall on others. You choose to keep it so they can be lighter, so they can be safer. They may never know. They may never thank you. But the angels know. They see you silently become a shield. They see you take the blows, and they applaud, because that sacrifice holds value far beyond any earthly praise. In the moments when you feel about to fall, when darkness presses down and breathing becomes hard, an invisible covering enfolds you. It is not only strength from within, it is heavenly support. You are not alone in those dark nights. Wings have been spread over you, a hand placed on your shoulder, whispering, "You do not carry this alone. We carry it with you." And so you continue. What you do is a kind of sacrifice few see but immensely great. You hold the gate so others are not overrun. You become the shield so the weaker can breathe, can step forward, can grow in the peace you create. You do not boast. You do not wear your pain as a medal. You stand quietly, knowing that your existence is proof that darkness has not won. If the eye could see the truth, people would notice the wounds on your soul like scars that glow in the night, cracks that radiate light instead of blood. For each wound you endure has been turned into a guiding lamp. Each blow you took for others has become an invisible shield protecting those who come after. In those painful moments, you may have cried out, "Lord, I cannot bear this anymore." Then an answer echoed in your heart, "I know, but you will not fall, for I hold you." Psalm 23 verse 3 once again breathes across you. "The Lord restores my soul and leads me in paths of righteousness for his name." When your soul was cracked, he restored it. When the way ahead seemed utterly dark, he led you into righteous paths, so you would not lose your way, and so you would not collapse. And in that utter weakness, true strength is revealed, not the strength of muscle, nor the stubborn force of will, but the strength of a soul that stands firm, knowing it is not alone, knowing that every step is supported by eternal love. The angels applaud not because you were not struck, but because you were struck more fiercely than ever, and yet you stood. They applaud because you turned wounds into victory, pressure into testimony, pain into legacy. Imagine a battlefield where many fall and flags lie broken. In the midst of that scene, one person still stands, their armor torn, their body battered, yet their eyes bright, and their hand gripping an invisible sword. That person does not stand for themselves alone, but for the army behind them. That person is you. That is why heaven cheers. You may not yet see the full meaning of what you do, but in the spirit realm, each time you bear for others, a door remains open, a family is kept safe, a weak soul is sheltered, and all of that will stand as evidence in eternity that you held firm. On this journey, you are not only a sufferer, you are one who turns sorrow into strength. Darkness believed it could crush you, but it did not know that pressure would forge you into a diamond. It did not know that the very blow would make you shine brighter, grow stronger, become untouchable. The angels smile, for they know you learned the lesson. Pain does not destroy you. Pain makes you witness. Then, when you understand, a strange peace covers you. Not the peace of a storm ended, but the peace of knowing you can stand even while the storm continues. And in that peace, you move forward. For you know that after fierce blows, darkness will test you again with another tactic, offering gifts disguised as light, sweet opportunities that are actually chains. You will face them with the same steadfastness that kept you standing before the lash. The angels cheered when you stood under the weight of suffering. They will rise again. For ahead you will face another temptation, not of blows, but of brilliant enticements wrapped in false light. When you refuse them, heaven will explode once more in songs of praise. There are temptations that never appear as threats. They do not roar, they do not crush you with fear. They come like gifts, shining like gold, sweet as honey, promising shortcuts to success. Others look and say, "This is a blessing. This is an opportunity from heaven." But your soul, after passing through fire, has learned to see beyond the wrapping. You recognize the truth. It is not freedom. It is a chain plated with gold. There was a time when a door opened before you, wide, bright, and so much easier than the rugged path you were walking. One simple agreement, and you would be lifted up, celebrated, given everything you had long desired. One nod, one small compromise, and the struggle would be over. People would call you a winner. They would honor you. They would praise your name. But deep down, you knew the real cost. Your soul would no longer be free. You looked straight at that door and said no. A simple word. But in the spirit, it thundered like lightning. A word strong enough to shake those who thought they could buy you. A word that made heaven erupt because you refused to sell yourself for convenience. Saying no was not easy. Your heart was tested. Inside, you also longed to be accepted, to be understood, to rest from the struggle. The door was tempting not only for its shine, but because it touched your deepest weakness. It whispered, "Why suffer when all your pain could end if you step through here?" But you remembered, what darkness offers has never been free. Behind convenience lies a cost, and this time, the cost was too high, your eternal freedom. You turned away, even knowing it meant continuing the long road, the lonely road, the road without applause. You chose to guard your soul, even if it meant losing what others craved. You chose to suffer now rather than lose yourself forever. And once again, the angels rose to their feet. If you could hear, you would know this applause is unlike anything on earth. It thunders like storm clouds, it flashes like lightning, it shakes your heart to its core. They rejoice not only because you avoided a trap, but because you declared into the unseen a powerful truth. My soul is not for sale. This decision, more than any victory before, set the course of your path. Few dare to refuse a golden opportunity for the sake of truth. Many have sold their souls in such moments, but you are different. You became living proof that light cannot be bought, that freedom cannot be imprisoned by glittering gifts. This brings to mind Psalm 37 verse 4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. You understand that true joy does not come from easy opportunities, but from walking in harmony with the one who created you. When you delight in Him, the deepest desires of your heart are fulfilled, not through shortcuts, but through gifts that last, gifts no one can take away. In the moment you said no, another seal appeared. the number 999. It is the number of completion, the closing of a cycle, the preparation for something new. When you refused the trap, you not only avoided a fall, you closed an entire season where darkness tried to buy you with golden opportunities. 999 is heaven's confirmation. A circle is complete. You are ready for the next chapter. If you have seen this number appear in your life, on receipts, in dreams, on license plates, know it is a sign. It reminds you that a cycle has ended. You have graduated a spiritual test, and now a new door is opening. If this number stirs your heart, share it, for in sharing you testify to completion and new beginnings on your journey. The angels rejoiced when you rejected the glittering trap, because they knew your decision not only kept you free, but sent a powerful message to many other souls. You do not have to bow to what only looks bright. You can say no and still stand firm. And then, when the dust settles, you walk on in silence. You do not need to prove your strength by boasting. You do not need to expose the one who set the snare. You do not need to shout so the world knows you were right. You understand, true power is not in noise, but in restraint. And this lesson of silent strength will become the next chapter of your journey. There is a paradox that only mature souls truly understand. Power does not live in display, but in restraint. You had many chances to prove your strength. You could expose the ones who harmed you. You could silence every rumor with truth sharp as a sword. You could unleash a power that would make people tremble and yield. But you did not. You chose silence. You chose to walk lightly, letting truth reveal itself in time. People often think power must roar, must be flashy, must make others afraid. But you learned that true power is quiet, steady, untouched by the need for recognition. That power needs no applause, needs no proof, because it springs from an eternal source. And when you restrain yourself, you do not become weak. On the contrary, you show you have mastered yourself. That restraint is like a mountain standing through the storm. It does not shout. It does not need to prove its greatness. It simply remains firm. And that silence is its most eloquent witness. You are the same. You know that if you reveal your strength now, you might win a small battle, yet lose the greater war. So, you preserve your power for the decisive moments, where it will shine inarguably. The angels have seen that restraint. They saw the temptations urging you to react, to prove yourself, to burn everything down to show you were right. And they saw you refuse. They saw you smile in silence, letting time and truth do their work. They rose to their feet because they know you reached an unshakable level of power, the power of stillness. Psalm 2:5-1-4 echoes. In this moment, the secret of the Lord is for those who fear him. You kept your secrets, not exposing every plan, not answering every word. And because of that reverence, deep mysteries were revealed to you. You understand that strength is not for boasting, but for wise and timely use, aligned with the sacred will. When you choose restraint, you also learn another lesson. Not every truth needs to be aired at once. Some truths need time to appear. Some truths need silence to grow. You let those truths germinate in quiet, rather than dragging them into the light too soon. This makes you a faithful steward of power, not using it to revenge or to show off, but employing it with wisdom and perfect timing. In that restraint, you discover a rare freedom. Freedom from the need to prove yourself. No one can manipulate you by provocation. No one can sway you by insult. No one can drag you into the cycle of retaliation. You rise above their game, and that makes you invincible. If the world could see the spirit realm, it would see you as a torch that needs no wind, no extra fuel, still burning bright in the dark. That light does not come from display, but from a nature forged and refined by trials and seasons of hardship. The angels stand because they see you become living proof that true power does not shout. It only needs to be. You have now completed a circle of the journey, from breaking invisible chains, to guarding integrity against temptation, to leaving clean, to taking blows for others, to saying no to glittering traps, and finally, to learning to keep power by restraint. Each step was more than a victory. It became a sacred declaration. You lived for the eternal, not for fleeting moments. And here, the number 111 appears, the number of new beginnings. It reminds you that this is not the end. Every trial you passed was preparation for a deeper beginning. You closed an old door, and a new gate opens. calling you into the next stage of the soul, a season of creation, of building, of sowing seeds for harvests never seen before. If 111 shows up in your life, know it is not coincidence. It is confirmation that a cycle is complete. And now you are called to step into a new start with strength, wisdom, and the silence you have trained. If this number resonates with your soul, share it, so we may together affirm the sacred beginning that opens. Remember, the world may never understand all you have walked through. They may never see the invisible battles you fought. They may never hear the angels cheering for you, but none of that lessens the value of your path. The applause you hear is not for the earth, it is for the sky. And that is what matters most. Your journey has become a chorus that stretches from earth to heaven. It is not only a story of victory, but a story of steadfastness, of light, of faithfulness to what is eternal. So continue to walk tall, hold your head high, for the heavens have risen to honor you, and their ovation will follow you always. There is a rare moment in life when you stop, take a deep breath, and realize you have crossed mountains you once thought impossible to climb. You look back and see the chains that bound you melting away. You remember the nights you stood alone in darkness, choosing integrity instead of selling your soul. You remember leaving without carrying poison, taking blows for others, refusing false gifts, and holding back your power when you could have displayed it. Those steps, quiet but steady, became a string of victories that reach up into heaven. The angels saw it all. They rose not once, but again and again. Each choice of yours, small in the sight of the world, became a tremor in the spirit realm. And now that you have completed this journey, that applause still echoes like an endless triumph. Let your heart be comforted by this truth. You did not walk this path alone. In moments you thought you were lonely, the heavens were watching, and invisible hands upheld you. Every step you took is written in the eternal record where nothing can be erased. You are proof that light always wins, and that a faithful soul is never forgotten. In this silence, a final scripture rings as blessing for your soul. Psalm 37 verse 4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Your true joy does not come from fleeting human applause, but from harmony with the one who made you. In that harmony, every deep desire of your soul will be filled. You have seen the sacred numbers walking with you. 111 signals a new beginning. 444 reminds you that your foundation is firm. 777 confirms that your soul has opened to see beyond mortal sight. These numbers are not mere signs. They are heavenly seals, like a stamp on your journey. If one of these numbers resonates strongly in your heart, leave it as a testimony. The number you share may be a sacred signal for someone else listening to this story. And now, as this chapter closes, stand tall and walk forward with certainty. Know that you are chosen, kept, and blessed. The angel's applause does not stop at the past. It will follow every step you take, reminding you that you are never alone. If this story touched you, if it reminded you of your own strength, do not let the light stop here. Press like so this message can reach more souls. Share so someone in your circle may receive the spark they need. And subscribe, so you will not miss the next whisper from heaven intended for you. Finally, I leave you with a blessing. May light cover every step you take. May deep peace dwell in your soul, and may the angel's applause accompany you until you stand before the eternal door where every victory is recorded and every tear is wiped away. This is your moment. Stand tall. Move forward, for the standing ovation from heaven has begun, and it will never end. Grateful that you chose to spend these moments in the light of this story. If it touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so the next whisper of light may find its way back to you.